Today we're going to be making a very refreshing dish, or at least I consider it a very refreshing dish, which I think is great during those hot Florida days that we've had lately and probably going to have for a few more months to come. We're going to be making a gazpacho. Gazpacho, when I say gazpacho, it's a cold soup. Normally you will see that being made with tomatoes or some other veggies. Traditionally, I think gazpacho was made with, and this is way back, with stale bread, garlic, some salt, some vinegar and water. We're going to be using some red wine vinegar in this dish. We're also going to be using some salt, but everything else you can find in the produce aisle. Today's video is being sponsored by Nature's Food Patch. That's where I picked up all the ingredients earlier this week. And the nice thing about this dish is that you can find everything right there when you walk into the store. You only have to shop at the produce aisle and pick up the ingredients. The main player of today's dish, the gazpacho soup that we're going to be making, is the watermelon and also the cucumber. I recommend you using an English cucumber. Those are the ones that you will find with the plastic wrapper around them. And the reason for that is that these don't have any big seeds in them. The other cucumbers, they have big waxy seeds that can be very bitter. The skin, and the bitterness is not what you're looking for. The skin of the English cucumber can be bitter as well. So one of the cucumbers I'll skin completely and that one goes into the blender. The other one I'll take off a little bit of the skin and then cut them up in small cubes. So I'm going to be preparing all the ingredients that we need. So give me a minute and we'll put everything together. So now everything is prepped and ready to go. Let me walk you through the ingredients. Actually, let me walk you through the tools that I'm using. This is actually a pretty easy recipe. You need to have a high-speed blender. Some people also use a juicer. I prefer to use the blender because we're using watermelon and cucumber. So not much fiber in both of them, and why would you throw away some of the ingredients that you will keep when you use a blender? A good sharp chef's knife, and then also a paring knife because we're peeling the cucumber. And then I like to use a scraper just to kind of like anything that I cut up. It's easy to pick it up from your chopping block and put it in one of the containers. And talking about containers, get a big bowl. Right now it's filled with the cube watermelon and one of the cucumbers. And something to juice the lemon. And I actually also have a zester right now because we're using organic produce. Anything that you pick up at Nature's Food Patch is organic. So I love to kind of like get some extra flavor in there from the lemon just by zesting it. The ingredients that we have, so I showed you the cubed watermelon and cucumber. Also, 1 quart of the watermelon I put in the blender and that's all juiced. And we also have the rest of the cucumber already in the blender. I'm going to be juicing that too. Then we have a bell pepper that I put into very small cubes. And I'll show you actually how to cut a bell pepper. There are multiple ways of doing it, but I prefer to do it by just cutting both ends off and then slowly opening it up and get the middle out. This way all the seeds are ready to dispose. Then we also have some shallots. You can use red onions. I prefer to use the shallots only because they're a little less strong. So yeah, it gives you the onion flavor, but not as strong as the red onions will do. A jalapeno pepper, all minced up. And then the mint. And what you do is you're gonna roll up the mint like a cigar and then just kind of like slice it up until you get it all cut up. And then we have the red wine vinegar and some salt. So let's start putting this all together. So we'll just add the juice to the big bowl. And let me get a big spoon so we can mix everything up as we go. Put the red bell pepper in there. The shallots, also all minced up. Jalapeno pepper. And then the mince. And actually, if you make this the day before, leave it in the fridge, all the flavors will mix and mingle much better. So no need to eat it right away if you can resist. But otherwise, just leave it in the fridge for another day and serve it the next one. Only a little bit of salt. And then we'll put a little bit of the zest of the lime in there. And this actually makes it smell really good. And then we'll cut it up. And get the juice out. And then it's asking for about a tablespoon of the red wine vinegar. If you don't have the red wine vinegar, you can also just use an extra lime or any other vinegar will do. That's about a tablespoon. And then we have the cucumber that we still need to juice. And we'll add the juice to all the other ingredients. And this is the watermelon cucumber Gazpacho. So then we mix it all up and it's ready to be served, or as I said, you can leave it in the fridge for overnight and then serve it the next day. This will serve about 6 people, pretty decent plates. But the way I like to write my recipes is actually to use everything that you buy in the store, meaning it's like, I don't want to end up with half a cucumber or some mint left over in the fridge. So I used all the mint and all the cucumber, the 2 cucumbers. The only thing is like if you buy the entire watermelon, you only need about half of it. And then everything else, the whole bell pepper I used, instead of like cutting it in half and having a half a bell pepper left over in the fridge. But you can easily adjust the recipe if you don't like as much as I just made today. So let's serve it up. And I'll guarantee you, you will love this on a hot summer day. And this is what it looks like. Enjoy your carpaccio.